The only game in the FPHL today, a Sunday matinee as the Prowlers and the Hat Tricks wrap up their season series. Good afternoon, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us today. Well, the Prowlers have been close, but no cigar this weekend. Shootout loss on Friday, and then a one-goal regulation loss last night here in Danbury. They'll try to get their first win over the Hat Tricks in 2 seasons. And they'll have a new face in the lineup and a couple of guys out. We'll let you know all the details coming up in the pregame show. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the PHP Network.
Come fill McMorran Place at every Prowlers home game this season. General admission tickets are just $15 with discounts available for seniors, military, students, and children under 12. Upgrade your experience in one of our suites, or bring the whole squad to the game with discounts for groups of 10 or more. Find your best option to visit the Thumb Coast professional hockey team by visiting phprowlers.com and find the tickets tab, or call the box office at 810-985-6166. Secure your seats today.
Welcome back to Danbury. We are just minutes away from puck drop between the Prowlers and the Danbury Hat Tricks in the third game of their 3-game weekend. Welcome in everybody who are Prowlers fans, Hat Tricks fans, fans around the FPHL. This is the only game in the league today, so sit back and enjoy, but let's get you geared up for it first. And we start with last night's game, a 4-3 win for the Hat Tricks, and Josh LaBelle, who's been on an absolute tear as of late, as he extended his point streak to 8 straight games, 17 points in that span, a 3-point night last night as he helped the Hat Tricks to the victory. Prowlers tried to make another late comeback, but could not. With a big story for Port Huron, FPHL history last night as Dalton Jay scored a power play goal. That was his 500th FPHL point. That is the third most all-time in league history. So at least a little bit of a positive there for the Prowlers to pull out of it, but certainly looking for more positives here today as far as points in the standings go. Let's see the standings, and we saw another team clinch a playoff spot last night. Despite their loss in Baton Rouge, the Carolina Thunderbirds have punched their ticket to the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. They are the second team in the Continental Division to do so, and that means the Prowlers right now are next in line for that, although it will certainly be a little while until anybody else in the league clinches a spot. But Prowlers looking to lock up that third seed and maybe even get a little bit closer to Carolina as the season rolls along. And it looks like Prowlers are destined to face the Carolina Thunderbirds for the third straight year in the playoffs. But over a month of hockey still to play before then, so nothing set in stone quite yet. Well, Billy Berry has been making his pro hockey debut this weekend for Danbury after 31 points in 27 games at Wilkes University this season. He was a captain in all UCHC this year after spending 5 years at Wilkes University, turning pro this weekend. He got his first pro point last night, an assist. So a big moment for him in front of the home fans here in Danbury. For the Prowlers, I mentioned it in the open, a new face in the lineup. It is Ross Bartlett, who is going to begin his second stint as a member of the Port Huron Prowlers. He was a Prowler in 2021-22 briefly. He had 5 points in 7 games. There you see the numbers for him last year as a member of the Motor City Rockers. He is the first former Rocker to play for the Prowlers. There are plenty of former Prowlers on the Rockers at one point or another, including Bartlett himself last year, but he is the first former Rocker to face the to play for the Port Huron Prowlers, and he will do so tonight after serving his 2-game suspension over the last 2 nights. And the Prowlers excited to have him in the lineup and get a little bit more speed and some more depth to the lineup, especially because they are losing a couple of guys for tonight. Sam Merritt unavailable. Tristan Sim, after taking the stick to the face, is not able to go as well tonight. So the Prowlers a little bit short-handed. They'll actually have to dress down a forward, and that will be a tough task for them here today, but at least having Bartlett in the lineup, having not played at all this weekend, he'll be the freshest guy on the ice, certainly for either side, and we'll see if he can use his speed and take advantage of that as the Prowlers switch up the lines just a little bit again. They once again keep that top line the same, and why not? Chris Paulin said yesterday that that line was dominant as per usual, so they'll keep them together. Meanwhile, Tucker Scantleberry will slot up with Bartlett and Dan Chartrand. Evan Foley, Dalton Jay, and Vinny DeCumbus will make up the third line tonight for the Prowlers. Alex Johnson playing with his third different D partner, at least to start the game tonight, although everybody seems to have played with everybody on the Prowlers blue line at some point this weekend, so we'll certainly continue to see defense pairing juggling throughout this game. But right now, you see Dalton Young and Alex Johnson listed together, Adam Heinzel and Frank Schumacher as well, and Brian Parsons and Braden Deck will be the third pairing tonight. And Ian Wallace back between the pipes after he was in the net for the shootout loss, on Friday night. As we are getting set for puck drop here in Danbury. Again, this is the third of a three-game set between the Prowlers and the Hat-Tricks. Prowlers dropped the first two, one in a shootout, one in regulation, both one-goal games. They have not won here in Danbury in their last 11 tries. And their record against the Hat-Tricks since the start of the 2021-22 season, 1-9-3. This team has been a thorn in the Prowlers' side over the last couple of years. Let's give you the starting lineup for the Prowlers, presented by Orthopedic Associates. And it is going to be the line that includes Ross Bartlett that Chris Paulin will send out to begin this game. And that is, in case you are just joining us, it's Bartlett with Scantleberry and Chartrand up front. Adam Heinzel and Frank Schumacher will start on defense, and Ian Wallace starts between the pipes. We'll get you the numbers on him in just a few moments as they announce the starters for the Danbury Hat-Tricks for tonight's game. Once again, the only game in the FPHL on this Sunday afternoon. The Prowlers and the Danbury Hat-Tricks. As the Hat-Tricks are going to start with DiNicola, Stoyshevsky, and Zinchenko up front, and that is listed as their third line. The Hat-Tricks actually going with 3 lines and 7 defensemen here tonight. Xavier Abdella drawing back into the lineup as the 7th defenseman. Former Prowlers captain Dustin Henning will be in the starting lineup for Danbury, along with Jared Yao. And in between the pipes, we will see Liam Murray for the first time this weekend. Prowlers saw him when he was a member of the Mississippi Seawolves back in October. And we'll tell you a little bit more about that after the pregame ceremonies. And we will take a quick break for tonight's national anthem.
John Kapinski, Kyle Gonzalez, equipment manager Bob D'Alessio, and assistant JP Kucha, and athletic trainer Aaron Bugopoulos. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, at this time we ask that you stand and remove your caps and direct your attention to the flag as we honor those who protect our freedom. Singing the national anthem, please welcome Caitlin Dwyer.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light
that is tonight's national anthem here in Danbury. We are just moments away from puck drop between the Prowlers and the Hat-Tricks for the third time this weekend. Take a look at the starting goaltending matchup. Ian Wallace, for the second time this weekend, going for the Prowlers. He was in net on Friday for the shootout loss. Meanwhile, it will be Liam Murray on the other side. This is his 8th start of the season. All of his starts have come with the Danbury Hat-Tricks, but he did make an appearance with the Mississippi Seawolves at McMorran Place in October. He ended up picking up the loss after coming in for Joe Shepard in what was eventually a Prowlers overtime win. We'll see if they can get some more past Liam Murray tonight and exercise some demons here at Danbury Ice Arena. And if you're just joining us, Ross Bartlett, the newest Prowler, making his second stint with the team on the ice right now. He took that opening face-off as we're underway. Here comes Zinchenko. Hip check by Adam. Heinzel dislodges the puck. And now Chartrand look to work it up the wall. Zinchenko right on net. And it's held on to by Wallace. Di Nicola and Heinzel battling a bit over at the side of the crease. Di Nicola had an assist last night after serving a one-game suspension for the first game of this 3-game set. Both teams switching up the lines. It will be top line against top line as Graham wins the faceoff away from Ruiz, and puck slides to the crease where Wallace clamps the glove on top. Hat-Trick's top line also staying the same from yesterday. Cunningham, Ruiz, and McKittrick. Graham with another face-off win from the Danbury captain. Yao kicked it out. It comes to Freeborn, has Federley going to that. Got it there, and he rose it too tall. Yao up the wall. Johnson just does keep it alive. Gets it back deep to Graham. Yao back on the loose puck. Cunningham gets it out, and Johnson starts a regroup. Comes over to Dalton Young, hopped away from him. He's able to one-hand it away from Cunningham, and Wallace jumps out of his crease to cover it up and put out the fire. That was a little bit dangerous as the puck was bouncing around amidst the Hat-Trick's forecheck. Now the Prowlers will have to deal with another defensive zone faceoff. Again, this is the third game in 3 nights for both teams. Last night wasn't a 6 o'clock start. It was the later 7 o'clock start. So quick turnaround for both sides. We'll see how that affects the game. Of course, Ross Bartlett hasn't played at all this weekend after serving his 2-game suspension. So we'll see if he has a little bit more legs than everybody else. Ratcliffe fires a pass across to Woolley. Has Falango with him on this rush to the net. Steered away by Wallace. Tetro from the point. Stopped by Wallace. And Jay lofts a pass out. Got through for Graham. Stepped up on by Tetro. He sends Tecumseh in. They'll cycle it deep with 4 Hat-Tricks back to defend. Prowlers in the midst of a change. Johnson to the net. Gloved by Murray. And he'll put a little windmill on as the whistle blows. 18-13 to go in period number 1. First shot of the game for the Prowlers. Right now, shots 3-1 in favor of Danbury. Graham and Stoyshevsky on this faceoff. Comes out to Freeborn. Lost the handle. Johnson plays it off the boards to Young. And now Freeborn. Johnson just pushes it towards the net. Young in deep. Finds the puck. Freeborn fakes. Johnson the one-timer. And Murray able to clutch it to the chest. Good puck retrieval there from Dalton Young in tight. And then Freeborn thought about the one-time shot. Instead put it back to Johnson, who took the 1-T. But Liam Murray ready for that one. Murray 6'5", 210 pounds out of UMass Boston. So it's certainly a big frame for the Prowlers to shoot the puck at. Here's Chartrand towards Bartlett in the corner, held up by Ruiz. Yao tried to push it out, and Schumacher able to keep it alive. Brown and Chartrand in there together. They dig away in the corner. Bartlett pulls it out, centering feed, couldn't find anyone. And it caroms all the way back to Wallace. They'll leave it behind the net towards Schumacher. Now Heinzel up to Scantleberry. Able to get it out on the second opportunity. Bartlett works in, but it's poked off his stick. And then icing called against the hat trick, so the Prowlers will get an offensive zone faceoff after the pass up ice went awry for Danbury. They'll send Evan Foley's line out there. Dalton Jay on the wing on this line. Scored his 500th career FPHL point last night with a power play goal. Third player in FPHL history to reach that mark. Falanga kicked out of this draw. McKittrick will take it instead. Hat-tricks have a bit of a mixed line out there. And now Falanga back in. Foley able to win the faceoff anyway. Here's Deck sending it deep. Foley and Henning get there together. Falanga digs it out. And now Yao starts up ice. Cross corner dump. Parsons first on it. Pass behind the net, cut off by McKittrick. Couldn't center the puck. And now Falanga didn't get it in front. McKittrick tried a wrap around, but puck doesn't go, and the net comes off its moorings. I shouldn't even say moorings, more like pegs. Because as we learned the other night, they do not drill in the pegs here in Danbury, which was a surprising fact that I learned. They drill them in everywhere else. As here's Pamaleon. The Woolley turnaround shot kicked out by Wallace through traffic. Johnson tried to get it out, just does come through, and Federley starts a rush. Over to Graham, tried to send it towards the net. Now Freeborn, hands off to Graham. Back to Freeborn, touched it on net, kicked out by Murray. Second shot blocked by Falanga. Federley tried to send it in front. Murray got it with the goal stick. Chris Paulin said this line has been dominant, and it certainly has over the past few weeks when they've been together. Graham, Federley, and Freeborn. Quick up, Graham. On for Federley, has Freeborn with him. He'll take the shot, and it's stopped by Murray as the hat-tricks got back quick off the bench to keep the passing lane from being open towards Liam Freeborn and forced Federley to take a shot. Just over 4 minutes gone in period one. Still searching for our first goal. Shots for apiece. Tetro gets it up to Zinchenko. Rink wide feed. Up for Di Nicola. Drops for Stoyshevsky from the outside towards the net. Great save by Wallace as coming down on the back post was Tetro. He went colliding over Ian Wallace and the net came off. But Ian Wallace sticks out the left pad to keep Tetro off the board. It was a backdoor feed. Bartlett out there against Stoyshevsky for this faceoff. One back by Stoyshevsky, but ends up coming to neutral ice. Di Nicola retreats to his own end, gives to Tetro, now on to Abdella. Turning away from Bartlett. Abdella head up, looking for a pass. He'll find Tetro. Steps around Bartlett. Tetro into offensive territory. Curls back. Heinzel took it away. And Cunningham flies off the bench to keep that puck in. Prowlers looking for an outlet. Chartrand, long lead pass. Just slipped through Bartlett's stick, but he got a touch on it. So icing waved off. Ruiz tried to work it out. Bartlett kept it in. Pass to Jay. Pops up in the air. Now Brown off the boards onto Zinchenko. Tried to send Cunningham into offensive territory. Is out of his reach. Parsons to Foley. And now Brown right back in. McKittrick and Foley come together in the corner. Foley pulls it out. Here comes Jay. He lost it, and now it's a battle just inside the blue line as Cunningham able to work it deep again. Ruiz and Foley come together. Centering feed, McKittrick stopped by Wallace. And McKittrick takes a hard hit from Braden Deck for his efforts. Prowlers and hat-tricks with a couple of good chances aside, but the goaltenders stand tall. We'll take a break. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated.
Enterprising.
The most creative people.
They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
Come fill McMorran Place at every Prowlers home game this season. General admission tickets are just $15 with discounts available for seniors, military, students, and children under 12. Upgrade your experience in one of our suites, or bring the whole squad to the game with discounts for groups of 10 or more. Find your best option to visit the Thumb Coast professional hockey team by visiting phprowlers.com and find the tickets tab, or call the box office at 810-985-6166. Secure your seats today.
Back here at Danbury Ice Arena, still searching for our first goal. Not yet. 6 minutes into this game. Third of 3 meetings between the Prowlers and the Hat-Tricks this weekend. Hat-Tricks took the first 2. Friday's game 6-5 in a shootout. And then last night, 4-3 in regulation. Lead pass on for Jay. Tried to step around Henning. Foley gets it deep. Henning off the boards and out. Ratcliffe and Parsons lock up. Now Falenga flies in, working on Foley. And Foley takes the puck from him. DeCumbus. Tried to make a pass across. Jay comes back for it. And DeCumbus skates back into it. Move around Yao. But too many hat tricks surrounding Vinny DeCumbus. With his team in the midst of a change. Here comes Woolley back in. Drags it to his forehand. Now to Falanga. Slipped it right through the crease. Graham. Saucer pass. Freeborn comes back for it. Gives it back to Matt Graham. From the outside, rising shot. Held onto by Liam Murray. And we'll get a whistle and a face-off. That pass from Liam Freeborn to send Matt Graham in. That's the type of passes you can make when you have the chemistry of these three that have played together so well over this last month or so for the Prowlers when all three were in the lineup. Just a quick little back pass, and Freeborn knew exactly where Graham would be heading into the offensive zone. Here is Graham. That's the red line. Tried to give it to Freeborn. He recollects and dumps it deep right on Tetro's stick. His pass split a couple of teammates, and Wallace will cover it up for a whistle and a face-off. So defensive zone draw coming for the Prowlers. They won't be allowed to change. They were able to get Freeborn and Graham off. Austin Federley still out there. Federley and McKittrick with a false start on this drop. Now they'll drop it. Puck comes to the wall. LaBelle tried to send it through. 2 goals and a helper for Josh LaBelle last night as he continues his torrid scoring pace. 17 points over his last 8 games. Here he is wristing it on net into the catching glove of Ian Wallace through traffic. What more can you say about Josh LaBelle, who since joining this Hat-Tricks lineup has instantly become their #1 defenseman, leads all defensemen on the team in points at an over point per game mark. He's been a welcome addition here in Danbury. As here's Schumacher off the boards, tipped in by Scantlebury. Cunningham tried to touch it along. Prowlers take it back. Here's Schumacher curling in the corner. Gives it out high to the line. Heinzel shot kicked out by Murray off the deflection. And then Ruiz took a stick up high as Chartrand was diving for the puck. Prowlers touch up, and the first penalty of the game coming to Dan Chartrand. And the Prowlers in a little bit more behind the play between Abdella and Scantlebury. This weekend, Prowlers' penalty kill has been 8 for 10. Still sitting last in the league, though, at 70.7%. While the Hat-Tricks power play is 9th in the league, 17.9%. Off the draw, it's bounced to Ratcliffe. He and Willie play catch, and now it's on to Yao. Ratcliffe, wrist shot, gloved by Wallace, in and out of the glove. Prowlers trying to settle it down, and Graham does and gets it out, but grabbing it down with the hand was Yao, and he'll move up ice. Cross corner dump, rolls to Wallace, and he'll scoop it up for a whistle and a face-off. Minute 35 left to go in the penalty to Dan Chartrand. 2 minutes for high sticking. They'll send out the top unit due to the Hat-Tricks. Ruiz and LaBelle, who both have power play goals this weekend. Out there right now, here's LaBelle. Winds, fires right into Wallace as he hit Steve Brown right in his grill. Three power play goals on the year for LaBelle. A team high 8 for Ruiz, and those two guys, of course, with their lengthy point streaks. McKittrick to LaBelle. Straight on, shot deflected off the stick of Steve Brown. LaBelle again, winds. He'll shoot it off of Federley's stick to the corner. Brown and Schumacher come together. And now Ruiz up top to LaBelle. This time he'll pass it. Now he'll get it back over towards McKittrick out of his reach. 3 hat-tricks on the puck in the corner quick. And they work it back to LaBelle at the point. Federley watches him. McKittrick with a wrist shot. Just couldn't find the target with lots of traffic in front. Ruiz steps back in, but the hat-tricks offside at the Prowler line. 47 seconds left on the Danbury power play. 3 shots so far for the hat-tricks on it. Stoyshevsky and Graham on this face-off, and the hat-tricks able to work it to Ratcliffe. He steps over the line, takes a bump from Freeborn. Now Stoyshevsky behind the net. It's Dinacola. Stoyshevsky back to Dinacola, walks the goal line, and the net comes off. Prowlers won't be able to change. And the boos start raining down here in Danbury. And once again, if I haven't stressed it enough this weekend, the pegs here in Danbury are not drilled into the ice as they would be at a regular FPHL and professional hockey arena. It's just pegs that sit on top of the ice that are heavy and have a little piece on the bottom that acts like a cleat that digs into the ice a little bit, but they're not actually drilled into the ice. So take that as you will. Referees are working with the post, trying to get the net secure, but it's going to be pretty difficult without some pegs and drilling a hole in the ice. They continue to work on the net. This has been a point of emphasis all weekend. All three goaltenders that played before tonight, excluding Murray, have had issues with the net coming off. Wallace, Sokolov, and McCullum. And off the face-off, they'll drop it again. 30 seconds left on the penalty to Dan Chartrand. Prowlers looking to start their night with a PK, a successful PK, and get right back on the offensive swing. Freeborn will take this draw against Stoyshevsky. Johnson rims it around. Graham first on the puck, tried to chop it along. Yao came in to keep it in. Stoyshevsky out high, D. Nicola down to Stoyshevsky. D. Nicola again. Wrist shot and gloved by Ian Wallace with 11 to go on the Hat Tricks power play. Plenty of shots for the Hat Tricks on this man advantage. 4 so far. They've had lots of zone time. That was a bit of a theme with some of their power plays last night. They had a lot of zone time, got shots on net, but weren't able to score a power play goal last night. Backdoor feed, and it was Ruiz at the side of the net. The post came off. I don't think Ruiz hit the net with that shot. We'll get another whistle, another face-off, and more yelling from the Danbury fans. We'll take a timeout, and when we come back, the final 2 seconds of the Danbury power play. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the PHB Network. .954 to go in period number 1. Dan Chartrand has 2 seconds until he'll be released from the sin bin. Face-off coming deep in Prowler territory between the two captains, Evan Foley and Johnny Ruiz. Off the draw, Cunningham had trouble with it. Back to 5-on-5. They dig away for it in the corner. DeCumbus moves it along. Cunningham got it back deep. Schumacher up to Chartrand. He backhands it out. Cunningham gloves it down. And it pops back to Frank Schumacher. Schumacher right back on it. DeCumbus moving it along, overskated it. And Ruiz tries to turn the other direction. Sent a shot off a couple of bodies. Cunningham walks the red line, and it's stopped by Wallace from a tough angle, and Wallace jumps on top with the glove. Another whistle and another face-off. So the Prowlers' penalty kill successful despite 5 shots for Danbury in the 2 minutes. Graham and Falanga have it tied up there. It's LaBelle now dumping it around. Ratcliffe and Young first after it, and Young steals it away. Dalton Young with space up ice, gives it to Freeborn, and Federley kicks it up to himself. Now Graham back towards Federley, just out of his reach. Falanga and Graham digging for that puck in the corner. It squirts loose, and Brown sends it in Ratcliffe's direction. Johnson keeps it alive, and then Woolley able to work it out. Johnson had his pass jumped by LaBelle. Right in, and his shot along the ice steered out of play by the stick of Ian Wallace. Bit of a choppy game so far, plenty of whistles. No goals yet though. 8:26 left in period number 1. Off this draw, Henning walks the line, wrist shot, deflects wide. Scantleberry got it out. This will be an icing unless Chartrand can win the race. And he thought he might have, but they say Di Nicola beat him. Prowlers bench thinks Di Nicola lost that race. And now Liam Murray all the way out near the blue line, tapping his stick. Not sure what Murray wants. Icing holds up, and the faceoff comes deep in Prowler territory. Henning gets it into the corner. Zinchenko behind the net. Try to come out in front. To the point, it's Yao. Wrists it deep. Goes wide. Now Schumacher backhands it out. Tipped along. Yao puts it back the other direction. Chartrand had it poked off his stick. Di Nicola couldn't hold on to it thanks to a diving Chartrand. Zinchenko bumped to the corner. Henning, wrist shot right into the breadbasket. Ian Wallace, he'll hang on for another whistle and another face-off. And a bit of a sluggish start for both sides tonight. Plenty of shots on net, 15-6 in favor of the hat-tricks in that category. But also lots of whistles and lots of stoppages. Comes over to the half wall. Foley works it up. Tetro tried to get it deep. Kicked off of Parsons' skate and ended up hitting the netting over top of the glass, out of play. And we'll get, once again, another face-off. Wish I'd started keeping count of how many face-offs we've had already in this period. Foley wins the draw. Gets it to Johnson. Curling away from Ruiz, on to Dalton J. Tried to send DeCumbus in. Murray plays it with the goal stick, over to the wall. Now Pamaleon skates out, starts the rush himself. He dumps it in, and Wallace scoops it up, and another face-off. Prowlers and hat-tricks. Lots of whistles so far in this third game of 3 nights. Of 3 days, I should say. Both teams sitting at third place in their respective divisions. Hat-tricks closer to the second place Rockers. Prowlers closer to the fourth place Seawolves. Here's Falanga chasing after it. Got a one-handed shot away, and Wallace keeps it out and corrals it to get another whistle. Danbury, since the penalty from Dan Chartrand, all over Port Huron. Another good save from Wallace there as Falanga hustled after that puck. He got a decent chance one-handed, but Ian Wallace able to make the save. Alex Johnson trying to change the momentum. He gets it over to Heinzel jumping in on the play. Centering feed got all the way through. And here's Federley down to Graham. Touch pass back. That was taken away by Woolley, and then Ratcliffe lost the handle trying to make a pass. Graham back to Johnson. Quickly up to Federley. It bounces in towards Murray. He'll pass it off to Abdella. On for LaBelle. Looking for an outlet feed. He'll try the wall. Pops away from Falanga. And now Scantleberry. Back pass on for Chartrand from the outside. Shot kicked out by Murray. Scantleberry gets it back deep. Bartlett and Falanga come together. Bartlett trying to kick it along. Chartrand moves it up the wall. Parsons back around. Here's Bartlett. Wrap trance. And he ended up sending it right through the crease. Schumacher keeps the puck alive. Down to Bartlett. Backdoor feed. And Chartrand couldn't poke it home. And the net comes off for the hat tricks. And I don't hear any boos about the net coming off here at Danbury Ice Arena this time. .544 to go in period one. Prowlers send the top line right back out there. Graham and Falanga will take this face-off. And Liam Murray, who was tapping his stick when the Prowlers net was coming off, now having a conversation with the referee. LaBelle gets it out. Schumacher tried to send it over to Federley, who was knocked down. Puck sits just inside the blue line. They poke it just out. And Freeborn tried to bring it back in, and I guess he did that just before Austin Federley stepped out, so an offside call against the Prowlers. We'll get another whistle and another face-off in a period that doesn't need any more whistles and any more face-offs. It's been a long one. Still waiting on our first goal as Ruiz wins it back. Brown gives it over to Yao. Gets over the offensive blue line, working on Johnson from his knees, centering feed. McKittrick may have gotten a piece of that to send it in front. But it went wide. Johnson tumbles down to the ice. DeCumbus sent it out. And then pass to Jay, right back in the zone, but the Prowlers hadn't vacated it yet, so offside once again. 5:03 to go in period number one. There's a loose stick back in the Prowlers' end, so Zach Pambaleon will skate that back to the Danbury bench, taking the handoff from Wallace. And now we'll get set for this face-off between Falanga and Bartlett. And it slides back to Parsons. Dumps it right in. Pambaleon up the wall towards Woolley. Tosses it out. Poked along by Ratcliffe. Heinzel picks it up in front of his net. Henning keeps the puck alive. Heinzel and Falanga went in together hard. Ratcliffe taken in by Parsons. And Scantleberry couldn't chip it by Henning. Now they get it out to Scantleberry. Has Chartrand with him. Hustling to join him. Scantleberry, Chartrand didn't get all of it. Then he sent it right through the crease. I think that actually went right through Liam Murray and right through the crease on the second opportunity for Dan Chartrand. Pambaleon to Woolley. Pulls up at the red line. Absorbs contact from Austin Federley. And now Johnson steps into the loose puck and absorbs contact from Woolley. Johnson dumps it around. Pambaleon around the cage. Now Zinchenko sends it out. And Young knocks it down. Pambaleon Off the glass. Here's Di Nicola waiting for help. Trying to pass across to Zinchenko. That was cut off by Johnson. But the hat tricks do keep it in just for a moment. Graham trying to muscle off Zinchenko. Zinchenko took the puck. Di Nicola drops it off. One-hand pass down to Di Nicola. That was Stoychevsky who made the pass, but Di Nicola couldn't get a good shot off. Abdella behind his own net, watched by Freeborn. Now Abdella again. This time Evan Foley with eyes on Xavier Abdella as we approach 3 minutes to go in the Munger Physical Therapy first period. Abdella out to Cunningham. And now McKittrick trying to turn off a check from Schumacher. DeCumbus couldn't get it out. Tetro to the net, blocked by Schumacher. Prowlers could have numbers going the other way, but Jay's pass goes right on the stick of Ruiz. His shot blocked, pops up in the air, and Wallace sprawls to try and find the bouncing puck. LaBella drive off a stick, and it flies out of play. Things picking up a bit, just over 2.5 to go in period 1. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network.
At Hungry Howie's, we're famous for flavor, and this is our Chief Flavor Officer. Every hour of every day, our CFO obsesses over the tastiest ingredients, combining them to create new flavor combinations your taste buds never knew they needed. Until now. Introducing his latest master pizza, the Pepperoni Duo. A delicious combination of classic cut pepperoni, original pepperoni, 100% mozzarella cheese, and our famous flavored crust. 2 kinds of pepperoni, all kinds of delicious.
Hungry?
Howie's! 2:35 to go in period number 1. Prowlers and hat-tricks still searching for the first goal of this game. Will Wiggleman back with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. No matter what team you root for, whether it's one of these two or someone else around the league, and you're just looking for some hockey this afternoon, this is the only game going on in the FPHL today. McKittrick gives it down to Ruiz, back pass in front. Goes right to Wallace, who puts the glove on top. Prowlers no strangers to playing the only game of the day in the FPHL. They did it twice in January when they faced the Mississippi Seawolves on January 2nd and 3rd. I believe there's at least one other time, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. Ruiz and Scantleberry for this face-off. And they'll kick Scantleberry out. He's not sure why, but he'll be sent to the wing. And off the draw, it comes back to LaBelle. His shot blocked by the stick of Chartrand. Batted out by Parsons. And now LaBelle and Chartrand hustle into the hat-trick zone. Chartrand with a steal. Takes the shot short side. Caught the outside of the post. Cunningham, long lead pass, dumped it in. And Heinzel wins the race to the puck. So an icing coming against Danbury. Move back up to offensive territory do the Prowlers for this face-off. They send the top line out there. So Graham and Ruiz will draw once again. Just over 2 minutes to go in period 1. In a first period that feels like it has been taking forever. LaBelle off the face-off. sent it off the glass. Johnson kept it in with the glove. And now it's Schumacher over to Federley. Prowlers look to re-enter the zone. Graham does, finds Freeborn. His shot knocked down by Murray. And he'll dive out to get the cover and the face-off. Hat-trick's able to make a change now. Prowlers keeping everybody out there. It will be Falanga's line on for Danbury. Off the draw, Graham wins it back. Johnson a quick shot, sticked away by Murray. Schumacher rims it around. Freeborn put a little reverse hit on Henning. May have caught Dustin Henning a bit high. Crowd wanted a penalty, but they won't get one. I feel like even Dustin Henning will say that wasn't a penalty. I think that was just a case of Freeborn being a little bit taller. And now Federley over to Schumacher. Freeborn standing at 6'1", Henning 5'11". It's not too much of a difference, and then Henning puts Freeborn down. That will draw a whistle and a crowd, and Henning, I may have been wrong about what I just said moments ago. Henning seems to be upset. And now Yao and Scantleberry also getting into it. Johnson and Henning in an angry argument. Freeborn being helped to the Prowlers bench by the training staff. So not a great scene for the Prowlers as their leading scorer steps off the ice after a hit from behind from their former captain. And the referees will discuss this. The two captains standing at the top of the circle. Freeborn put a little reverse hit on Henning over on the far side. Maybe got the arm up a little bit. I didn't see. Dustin Henning then came across on the other side. As the puck came back in the zone, he hit Freeborn from behind. It certainly looked like. I think it could certainly be a boarding penalty. They're showing the replay right now here in the arena. Tough to tell. Freeborn is in the locker room right now. We'll let you know if we do see him come back. And just as I say that, here he is stepping back onto the bench, having a chat with assistant coach Chris Paulin. As the referees explain things to Evan Foley and Johnny Ruiz on the other side of the referees tonight, Andrew Sullivan and Jordan Crable. The linesmen Ian DeLong and Will Fannin. Right now they have 2 minutes up on the board for both Johnson and Henning. Of course, both of them still on their respective benches. So they'll have to corral whoever has to go to penalty boxes. Looks like we'll play 4-on-4. The veteran Henning heads to the box. Split this season between Watertown and now Danbury after a trade. Not sure what we're waiting for at this point. As conversations continue between men in stripes. Johnson to the away penalty box, heading over to the home penalty box, and Johnson still with some more words for Dustin Henning. And now 3 officials gathering for a discussion. Right now, it's just 2 minutes for boarding for Henning and 2 minutes to Johnson for roughing are up on my penalty sheet, and we'll see if anything else comes of it. I sure hope we get something else with all this conversation that is just extending the longest first period that I can think of. And now they take Johnson and Henning's penalties down. Nick DiNicola is heading over to the box, so maybe Henning picked up something extra and DiNicola is serving the 2. Or maybe DiNicola got himself 2 of his own. I wasn't sure everyone who was in that pile. But right now it looks like the Prowlers get their first quality power play of the game. 2 for 7 on the weekend so far is the Prowlers' man advantage, 21.6%. It's 6th in the FPHL. Hat-trick's PK is also 6th at 80.8%. Of course, one of their power play goals scored by Alex Johnson, and he's in the box right now. The other one was a deflection off a shot by Alex Johnson. But the unit that usually includes him not out to start this power play. It's Matt Graham's unit instead, and they'll set up with a minute to go in period 1. Federley couldn't keep the puck in, and LaBelle clears it down. And now DeCumbis works through neutral ice, tried to work in. And it looks like the hat-trick's got a bench minor for abuse of officials, so that is the extra penalty. Graham out high to DeCumbis. Federley walks the blue line. Now to DeCumbis. Back to Federley, 25 seconds to go in the period. Graham to Foley from in tight. Stopped by Murray, and then the pass back to Graham. Eludes him. Goes all the way down. Prowlers have 12 seconds to work within this period. Long saucer feed. Kicked by Foley. On to Scantleberry. Last chance for the Prowlers. And that kick save and a beauty by Yao. LaBelle blocked a pass. It sat there for a moment. That's going to do it for the first 20 minutes of this Sunday matinee here in Danbury. No goals in what was probably the longest first period of the season as far as actual time on a clock. Of course, it was only 20 minutes, but it felt like a lot longer than that. Prowlers will have 54 seconds of a power play when we begin period number 2. But the goaltenders win the first round tonight as they hold both teams scoreless. Shots on goal in that period favoring Danbury, 18-10. But we go to the locker rooms without a puck hitting the netting. Well, stick around for the first intermission report. We'll take you back through the season series so far. And spoiler alert, not great for the Prowlers, but we'll look back at it anyway. We'll also take a look at some storylines around the FPHL. It is a Sunday, so not too much going on, but we'll talk about what did go on. We'll also look at the local Michigan sports scoreboard as there are no other games in the FPHL today. Look at the stats from the game so far here tonight or today, and much, much more. All of it coming up in the first intermission report, and it's only here on the PHP Network. Well, spring is here, so get something new at the Prowlers team store. The store features lace-up sweatshirts, mitt stalls, team issue apparel, and more, with new merch coming in all season long. Come find us on the west end of McMorran Arena at every home game all season long, or online anytime at prowlersmerch.com. You can scan the QR code on your screen now to visit the online shop. Look your POHO best with gear from the Prowlers team store. No score through 20 minutes here in Danbury, and we'll take a break. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the PHP Network.
I've worked at Pioneer and now Corteva for 36 years. It goes by very quickly.
This is a pretty noble profession where you're giving back to humanity.
Curiosity is so important. I learn something new every day.
What's that next challenge that may occur for farmers? You do really feel like you've got an impact on what's coming.
I can see how we're making things better.
And we have the best solutions for our farmers. And I think we're here to feed and fuel the world. I'm proud to be part of that culture, and I'm proud to be part of the company.
At Hungry Howie's, we're famous for flavor, and this is our Chief Flavor Officer. Every hour of every day, our CFO obsesses over the tastiest ingredients, combining them to create new flavor combinations your taste buds never knew they needed. Until now. Introducing his latest master pizza, the Pepperoni Duo. A delicious combination of classic cut pepperoni, original pepperoni, 100% mozzarella cheese, and our famous flavored crust. 2 kinds of pepperoni, all kinds of delicious.
Hungry?
Howie's!
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
They're seriously not even that much better than you.
Should've just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com.
Ruiz put it out in front, sits there, backdoor, they score! It found its way to Johnny Ruiz as it was bouncing around in front. The hat tricks break the ice. Tried to send it up to Scantleberry. Harwell turned it back on net. Now Abdella to D. Nicola. Centering feed. Harwell scores! Goals in back-to-back games for Chase Harwell. Schumacher providing the screen in front of McCullum. Scantleberry in front, score! Frank Schumacher bats it in, his first of the year, and the Prowlers have tied it in the final minute. Yao to Brown, back up high. Yao walks, gives it over, Ratcliffe scores! Jacob Ratcliffe in overtime on the power play. Danbury wins 4-3, your final tonight. Here's Zinchenko to LaBelle. His drive deflected, they score. To Federley, Prowlers need a shot. Graham, try to centering feed, take it away. Foley up high, 5 seconds left. Off the back wall, it came to McCullum. They dig away and score! Matt Graham digs it out of the pile. 3 seconds left, and the Prowlers have tied it. And now Ratcliffe, who scored the overtime winner in December, trying for the shootout winner. Ratcliffe works in, he scores, and Danbury wins the shootout in round 5. Prowlers earn a point, but they will fall tonight 6-5, your final. Give it to Freeborn again. Merritt and Brown in front. Johnson score! Deflected in front by Dalton J. And there it is. 500 points for his career. The third in FPHL history to do it. See if they can get the puck out. Right now they'll have to get it back as Di Nicola gives to LaBelle. Wrist shot deflected, score!
I've worked at Pioneer and now Corteva for 36 years. It goes by very quickly.
This is a pretty noble profession where you're giving back to humanity.
Curiosity is so important. I learn something new every day.
What's that next challenge that may occur for farmers? You do really feel like you've got an impact on what's coming.
I can see how we're making things better.
And we have the best solutions for our farmers. And I think we're here to feed and fuel the world. I'm proud to be part of that culture, and I'm proud to be part of the company.
At Hungry Howie's, we're famous for flavor, and this is our Chief Flavor Officer. Every hour of every day, our CFO obsesses over the tastiest ingredients, combining them to create new flavor combinations your taste buds never knew they needed. Until now. Introducing his latest master pizza, the Pepperoni Duo. A delicious combination of classic cut pepperoni, original pepperoni, 100% mozzarella cheese, and our famous flavored crust. 2 kinds of pepperoni, all kinds of delicious.
Hungry?
Howie's!
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
They're seriously not even that much better than you.
Should've just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com.
Welcome back to Danbury. We're wrapping up the first intermission, and we're still searching for our first goal between the Prowlers and the Danbury Hat Tricks. Will Wiggleman back with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us. Before we take a look back at that opening period, let's take a look around Michigan sports with our local sports scoreboard. This is the only game in the FPHL today, so we take a look around Michigan at what's going on, and we start with the NBA, the Detroit Pistons, the 9-50 Detroit Pistons, have a 6 o'clock date with the Orlando Magic, as the Magic are searching for their 4th straight home win. In spring training action, the Tigers defeated the Yankees 7-2. Casey Mize picks up the win. Andy Ibanez hit a home run. As spring training continues for the Tigers, they're now 4-4 in spring training action. To the OHL, the Saginaw Spirit are leading the Guelph Storm 3-2 as they play in the third period. And Michigan State women's basketball took down Wisconsin 78-52 in their final tune-up before the Big Ten tournament. Of course, here it is no score between the Prowlers and the Hat Tricks. Take a look at some storylines around the league. Again, it's a Sunday, so not too much to tell you about. A couple of games last night. The Baton Rouge Zydeco took down the Carolina Thunderbirds. They take 2 of 3 on the weekend. Of course, a lot of people putting an asterisk on the Thursday game with Carolina having the bus issues and putting together a roster at the last minute. But the Zydeco, to their credit, won last night. Thunderbirds did still clinch a playoff spot, but the Zydeco show some life back home, their first home games since December. And they pick up 2 wins in the 3-game set against the Carolina Thunderbirds. The Watertown Wolves, without Dakota Seaman, who returns from his suspension. He'll be eligible to play on Sunday when the Wolves come to Port Huron. He was suspended for his knee on Tucker Scantlebury a few weeks ago. That Scantlebury ended up playing the next couple of games, but did end up He played the first game against Motor City, but then missed the second one after the injury. So he is back from suspension. We'll see what might happen if he's on the ice on Sunday. But the Wolves, without him, defeated the River Sharks 5-3. So a night after the Elmira River Sharks beat the Binghamton Black Bears, who are at the top of the Empire, they fall to the bottom team in the division, 5-3. And Watertown now 7 points out of a playoff spot. They are chasing those River Sharks, so they do gain 3 points on the River Sharks in that race for the final playoff spot in the Empire Division. Taking a look back at tonight's game, well, that was about as long of a period as you can have for as low event of a period as we had. Sure, plenty of shots on goal, and a couple of dangerous chances, but not too much else to speak of. Both teams went 0 for 1 on the power play, as it was just a very long period, lots of whistles, lots of just goaltenders scooping up dump-ins and offsides and all of that fun stuff that makes a period go a lot longer than maybe it needs to, but no goals to tell you about as we get set for period number 2 here in Danbury. Prowlers will begin with a power play for 54 seconds as Dustin Henning and Alex Johnson still in the box serving their 2 minutes, and Nick DiNicola serving a bench minor for abuse of officials. Still waiting for the Hat Tricks to step onto the ice. The buzzer has sounded, and now finally here comes Danbury. Prowlers without a shot on the power play so far in the first minute and 6 seconds of it. We'll see if they can get anything going, again, without Alex Johnson, who's still in the penalty box for the remainder of the man advantage. They're also missing Tristan Sim, who's a staple on the other power play unit. He's out after taking the stick to the teeth yesterday. The Prowlers send out Federley, Freeborn, Jay, Bartlett, and Scantlebury. So Austin Federley, who quarterbacks the other power play unit, will get some time on this one. Prowlers with a lot of history going against them tonight, of course. We've talked already about their records against the Hat-Tricks overall, their records here at Danbury Ice Arena as of late. They're also 0-3 in the third game of 3-3s this season. They're trying to change that as well. Here's Scantleberry stepping around LaBelle, tumbles down to the ice. McKittrick couldn't dump it out as he took a hit from Bartlett, but now Ruiz on a short-handed opportunity. He took a slash from Ross Bartlett, and that will negate the rest of the Prowlers' power play. Goes 26 seconds in. So they decide to give Bartlett the slash on that one. So we'll play 4-on-4 for 29 seconds. As Ruiz reacted to the whack on the hands. Yao off the face-off, gets it back to LaBelle, tapped it deep. Prowlers now 0 for 2 on the man advantage so far tonight. Chartrand looking to bounce it out. Couldn't do so. McKittrick out to LaBelle. Wrists it through, blocked by Heinzel a little bit painfully. And Foley able to one-hand it down ice. It's now a Danbury power play as DiNicola has stepped out of the box. He'll head to the bench and Corey Cunningham will join the power play unit as Danbury gets the big line out there. It's going to be LaBelle, Falanga, Cunningham, Ratcliffe, and DiNicola steps back off the bench. DiNicola fires it over to the far side, glove down by Ratcliffe. Falanga knocked down in the corner. Graham in there looking to pull the puck out. He does, and he's able to float it down ice. 45 seconds left to go in the power play for Danbury. Henning and Johnson will step out of their respective penalty boxes just as soon as we get to the next whistle. Falanga works back in. Rimmed around. Woolley hustling after it. Chartrand beats him there. 3 hat tricks back. Chartrand with a quick shot up high on Murray. And he clutches it between his arm and his body for a whistle and a face-off. And now Johnson and Henning released from the sin bins. .21 seconds left on the Hat Tricks man advantage. Foley and Ruiz on this face-off. Foley wins it back. Johnson sent it towards the net. Chartrand couldn't get a stick on it. Ruiz banks it around to Cunningham. To Brown. And now LaBelle quick up to Cunningham. Enters offensive territory with Bartlett set to step out of the box. Johnson pulls up in the corner. And now Chartrand will start a rush, hands it to Bartlett. Tried to make a move at the blue line. Prowlers in a delayed offside situation, so they dumped it in. LaBelle sends it out. Got through Schumacher. 2-on-1. McKittrick towards Zinchenko. Good block by a sliding Adam Heinzel. And then Wallace gathers it in to clamp the glove on top. Adam Heinzel saving the rush there. Good sliding play to keep McKittrick's pass from getting over. Off this face-off, it's tied up. We're back to 5-on-5 for the first time in this period. Pamaleon tried to turn it on net. They move it along. Federley out towards Freeborn. All he can do is reach out his stick and tip it further. Puck will die short of the icing line, so Henning forced to play it. Stoichevsky off the wall towards Pamaleon. Seems to be playing forward at the moment. Feed out in front. Ends up on Freeborn's stick. And Freeborn gets the pass back, sends Johnson on his way. Johnson to the net, stopped by Murray. Johnson back on it. Off the boards to Freeborn, walks, sends it towards the cage. And Murray with the glove save. He'll scoop it up for a whistle and a face-off. Alex Johnson, of course, as he likes to do, jumping up into the play, and he got the shot on net and ended up recollecting the rebound. Prowlers get a couple of opportunities there. They have the only 3 shots of the period so far. Scantlebury tried to backhand it in front. Ratcliffe from his knees sends it out. Schumacher collects the sliding puck in his own end. Gets around Woolley. Pass deflected by Falanga, and Murray will put the glove on top for a whistle and a face-off. Got a little snow shower from Scantlebury. Abdella didn't like that. He sent Tucker Scantlebury to the ice. Tensions rising here, as you may expect a little bit in a game like this, the third in 3 days between these two teams. We'll stay at 5-on-5. Prowlers and Hat-Tricks both make some changes. Actually, the Prowlers are the only ones able to change because the dump was on the Prowler side of center. So the Hat-Tricks can't get fresh troops on the ice. Tied up. Now Jay from the outside had a shot blocked. Comes back to him. He's up against the wall, and Falanga pulls it out of the pile. Up to Ratcliffe. Tried to send it out. Foley gloved it down, sends Jay back in. Shot stopped by Murray as he sticked it into his glove. And he'll hang on for a whistle and another face-off. And now both teams will make some changes. Shots 5-0 Prowlers so far in period number 2. Bartlett and Ruiz set for this face-off. Ruiz wins it to the wall. Chartrand first on it. But he couldn't center the puck. Dumped out. Here's Braden Deck off the wall. Chartrand dumps it in. Bartlett and Brown after it. Scantlebury swoops in for a puck. And now Young from the point. Shot deflected wide by Bartlett. Bartlett lets it go through. Chartrand centering feed got through everyone. And comes all the way down to Wallace. They'll leave it for Parsons. Up the boards, Scantlebury bounces it along for Federley, and now the Prowlers with a 3-on-2. Federley with a quick shot, and it's stopped by Murray. Dalton Young was jumping in on the play. Now Federley down for Young, across to Johnson, and it's floated around to the near side. Federley at the line, tried to fire a pass across off of McKittrick's stick. Prowlers still trying to keep possession. Freeborn a back pass, hit McKittrick, and he'll just sky it out. Hat-Trick's trying to get a quick change in. They'll only get one off. But now as Ruiz steals away that pass, he'll be able to get more. Couldn't get a shot on net, could Johnny Ruiz. Cunningham cycles it to Di Nicola. Cunningham out to the point to Henning. Wrists it back over to the near side corner. Stoichevsky around the cage. Now Dalton Young collects it over on the far side. Henning got down to block it. It bounces to Freeborn. Couple of hat-tricks, coming in on Liam Freeborn. And now Zinchenko, watched by Heidel from the outside, cut the glass, and it goes all the way back to hat-trick ice. Yao quick up to Zinchenko at the Prowler line. He'll dump it around. Stoichevsky up the wall. Tetro waits for it before sending it back to the near side. Jay and Pam Leon come together. Two aside, scrum as they dig. Jay pushes it further. DeCumbus tips it past Ratcliffe, and he's off to the races. Backhand to Foley. Score! Great rush by Vinny DeCumbus and Evan Foley, and the Prowlers score first against Danbury for the first time this season. Oles in back-to-back games for the Prowlers captain, and it all starts with the great play by Vinny DeCumbus down here at his own blue line. He chipped it past Ratcliffe, was off to the races, and the good pass to Foley, who goes top shelf over the glove of Liam Murray. '11th of the year for Evan Foley, and the Prowlers have themselves a lead, and the first goal of the game, 7 minutes gone now in period 2. Schumacher gives it to Scantleberry, and now Dan Chartrand backhands it in. Abdella to LaBelle, watched by Bartlett, who takes him into the wall. LaBelle turns the corner towards Ratcliffe, had to play it out of his skates. And now Parsons trying to keep it away from LaBelle. Woolley back pass to Falanga. Curling away from Parsons. LaBelle, wrist shot blocked by Chartrand. He's able to chop it out. Brown gets right on it. Off the boards. Chartrand right there. He gets it back in. Prowlers in the midst of a change as Woolley skies it out. Johnson to Parsons. Quick up to Matt Graham. Enters offensive territory. On for Federley. His shot gloved by Murray as Federley found himself a little space on the left wing side. Evan Foley has the first goal of this game here in the second period. We'll take a break. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the PHP Network.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated.
Enterprising.
The most creative people.
They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
Come fill McMorran Place at every Prowlers home game this season. General admission tickets are just $15 with discounts available for seniors, military, students, and children under 12. Upgrade your experience in one of our suites, or bring the whole squad to the game with discounts for groups of 10 or more. Find your best option to visit the Thumb Coast professional hockey team by visiting phprowlers.com and find the tickets tab, or call the box office at 810-985-6166. Secure your seats today.
Back here in Danbury, 1-0 Prowlers on the strength of an Evan Foley goal. Just under 12 minutes left in the Hungry Howie's second period. Vinny DeCumbus picking up his 12th assist of the year on the goal. He had a 3-assist game a couple of weeks ago in Motor City in the overtime loss for the Prowlers, their last game before they came here to Danbury this weekend. That 3-assist night, career high for Vinny DeCumbus. Here's Cunningham into offensive territory to Yao, poked away by Braden Deck. Ruiz cycles it towards Cunningham. Tried to send it out in front. McKittrick off the backboards. Cunningham recollects. Got through Brown, and now Federley's after it. Murray steps out of his goal crease to play it. Pass was knocked down by Federley. But Brown recollects. Hassled by Freeborn. And now Ruiz pulls it out and starts up ice. Cunningham. Cross corner dump. Heinzel on it. Swung and missed at the puck, though. Here's Cunningham. Couldn't get it through the battle in the corner, though. Stoichevsky towards Abdella, out of his reach. Now the goal scorer, Foley, sends it out. Glove down by Dustin Henning. Schumacher behind his own net. Reverses to Heinzel. DeCumbus on for Dalton J. Chips it around Henning, trying to get around. DeCumbus was knocked down behind the play. Prowlers were looking for a penalty they won't get. Here's Stoychevsky. Drop pass. Henning, wrist shot blocked. Schumacher looks to start a counter. He'll play it off the glass. And now DeCumbus knocks down Pamaleon. So I guess tit for tat, that will even things up. No penalties either way. Di Nicola baseballs that one into offensive territory. Schumacher up to Chartrand. Dumped in. Tetro gloved it down. And Ratcliffe dumps it back to Prowler territory just past the halfway point of period number 2. Chartrand working up with Bartlett. Plays it off the wall. Bartlett after it. Moves it along to the other side to Scantlebury. To the point. It's Young. Wrist shot right into Murray. And he'll hang on for a whistle and a face-off. And Chartrand in front trying to get a stick on it. 9:40 to go in period 2. Prowlers still with a 1-0 lead. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network. .940 to go in period number 2 here in Danbury. Prowlers with the 1-0 lead on the strength of Evan Foley's goal just a few minutes ago. Prowlers will get an offensive zone faceoff. They have the top line out there now. Graham and Falanga will take this faceoff. Falanga, the East Haven, Connecticut native, nearby to Danbury. Tossed out by Ratcliffe. Johnson lost the handle. Patrick's bench wants a penalty, and looks like they'll get it from the back referee. Hooking is the signal, and Alex Johnson to the penalty box for the second time tonight. And it will be another hat-tricks power play. 0 for 2 so far tonight. They've had one full power play and one abbreviated power play. This will be their second full one. They send out the top unit, Ruiz, leading his group on there against Dan Chartrand. And off the face-off, it's Cunningham holding on the half wall. Gets it out high to LaBelle, fakes, Ruiz walks in, shoots, stopped by Wallace, tried to center it back in front, and Wallace got the glove on top. Ruiz likes that one-time spot. He and LaBelle both very dangerous shooters that you have to worry about. LaBelle usually at the top, Ruiz over here on the near side in his one-time spot. Prowlers look like they'll get a clear here. No, McKittrick does enough to keep it alive. LaBelle walks, gives to McKittrick. Back to LaBelle. To Ruiz, stepping back into the zone. Shot blocked, rebound Cunningham. Bounces around in the crease. Wallace doing a snow angel, and they blow it dead. The puck went into the net after the whistle blew, and that won't count as Wallace was on top of it. And now they're calling for the trainer. There's a hat trick down behind Wallace. I can't see who it is. Oh no, it's the referee. Down at the side of the crease, looks like Jordan Crable, the referee, being attended to by the Hat Tricks training staff. Puck was in the crease, it was chaos. Wallace able to do just enough to get the whistle and freeze the puck. And then looks like Crable may have taken something up high, maybe a stick, as the battle was ensuing, as he chats with the training staff. The puck did slip out after the whistle blew, but of course, once the whistle blows, the play is dead. Everybody seems to be all right. Minute 26 left to go on the Hat Tricks power play. Hat Tricks already with 2 shots on this man advantage. 2 of their 3 shots in the period. Prowlers up on shots in the frame, 8-3, and they have the only goal of the period as well. Looks like we'll get set for a face-off over on the far side. Hat Tricks get to take this time to rest their top power play unit. So they send them right back out there. And the face-off is coming outside, and Johnny Ruiz is not happy about that fact. And now they'll get together to discuss. And we'll see how convincing Johnny Ruiz was. And it looks like Johnny Ruiz has flipped a referee's opinion, which is a very tough thing to do. But under the influence of the Hat Tricks captain, referees get together and decide that the faceoff should stay inside the Prowlers' end. Here is Ruiz. Out to LaBelle. Across to McKittrick. Back to LaBelle. Winds. Ruiz fakes the shot. Takes it. Knocked down by Parsons. Bunch of gloves looking for that puck. And Federley able to toss it out. The puck hit Parsons, and about 3 players swiped at it with their hands. It ended up landing on Federley's stick, and he was able to launch it down ice. Cunningham looking to step around Schumacher right into the chest of Ian Wallace. No rebound. 50 seconds left on the penalty to Alex Johnson. 3 shots on the man advantage for Danbury. They switch up the unit to the Hat Tricks. And now we're all set to go. Foley wins the faceoff. Schumacher fires it out all the way down. Murray holds, waits for Ratcliffe to get there, he hands it to. Woolley on the left wing side. Steps into offensive territory, pulls up, Hat Trick set up. But DiNicola couldn't take that pass in. Graham had his clearing attempt blocked by Ratcliffe. Here's Yao with some space, he scores! Jared Yao with a wrist shot as he had some time and space with the puck squirted out to him. Power play goal ties this game for the Hat Tricks. Ninth of the year for Jared Yao, 3rd on the power play. And it's all because of the keep-in from Ratcliffe over here on the near side. Puck sent across to Yao as everybody was over here on the near side. And Yao had plenty of time to walk in and pick his spot. He goes to the top corner. And we're tied up at 1. Jay with a soft dump in. Murray plays it behind the cage to Abdella. He starts up ice. And now Henning skates into it. Muscled off by Parsons. To his side scrum. Foley on to Jay. Trying to push off Falanga. Tecumseh steps towards that loose puck. Falanga, though, able to body him off. Dalton Young behind his own net. Starts to move up ice, looking towards Jay. Couldn't find him, though. As Ratcliffe picks up the only assist on the goal by Yao. McKittrick has Ruiz with him. Prowlers looking to get back. Ruiz hit the post. Going low, back against the grain. Now the Prowlers on the counter. They're stymied at the line. Here comes Ratcliffe. Drops for Ruiz. Back to Ratcliffe. Out high. Quick shot. Goes wide. LaBelle towards Ruiz. He and Heinzel come together. The puck slipped through them. And Johnson skates into it. Johnson into offensive territory. Now Graham back in front. Couldn't find a friendly stick. Tetra looks to start a counter. But he gave it right to Adam Heinzel. 9th point for Ratcliffe against the Prowlers this season in his 5th game against Port Huron. Ratcliffe, of course, has scored an overtime winner and a shootout winner against the Prowlers this year. He has the puck again. Got it across to Falanga, who hit the crossbar. Wallace is being harassed by Cunningham, who's right on top of him, and now they'll blow it dead. The Hat-Tricks tried to send it on goal. As Wallace and Cunningham got tangled up, Heinzel was in there as well. Brown dragging Chartrand out of the pile. Chartrand and Brown wrestle each other to the ice. Scantleberry and a linesman on top of that. Wallace trying to get free of the brouhaha ensuing. And a fracas at the top of the Prowlers goal crease. Brown still trying to get after Dan Chartrand, and now looking down Tucker Scantleberry. Brown still with words for Tucker Scantleberry. This escalated quickly. It all started with Wallace and Cunningham getting tangled up. Heinzel was involved as well. And then everyone came together. The Hat-Tricks actually tried to put the puck on net. It never made it into the goal. It would have been interesting if it did. I'm sure it wouldn't have counted. Right now, it's Scantleberry and Brown both heading to the penalty boxes. So we'll see what comes down here. Looks like Chartrand also being escorted to maybe the box, maybe the bench. They're not sure. And looks like it will be to the penalty box. So it seems like the Hat-Tricks might get a power play out of this. If we're just playing the numbers game, 2 Prowlers in the box and 1 Hat-Trick. Corey Cunningham, who was laying on top of Ian Wallace to start this whole thing, is at his bench. Referees are conferring. Couple of posts for Danbury since getting the tying goal. It seems to have turned the momentum. The Johnson penalty turned the momentum at first, and then Yao got the goal on the power play. And it's been all Hat-Tricks really since that penalty. And it all broke loose just a few moments ago. The image of Ian Wallace just trying to shuffle out of that pile down on his side. They're showing here in the arenas. It's interesting. So everything happened on top of him. He obviously wanted no part of it. And now Chartrand has been released to head back to his bench, so maybe things will just be even up. Brown getting the explanation. So are the captains, Ruiz and Foley. It's getting testy here in Danbury. And again, that will happen when you're playing a team 3 times in 3 nights. Well, I guess I should say 2 nights in an afternoon. No penalties have been put up on the board. No penalties have come down on my penalty sheet yet, but I do know that there will be some somewhere. Billy McCreary asking for an explanation over at his bench. Face-off, it looks like, will be outside the zone. And now they have 2 minutes up on the board on either side for Scantlebury and Brown. So it looks like we'll play 4-on-4. And finally, we are just about set to play hockey again. Federley, Freeborn, Johnson, and Young for the Prowlers. Ruiz, Ratcliffe, LaBelle, and Tetro for Danbury as we're back underway. Here's Johnson working on Tetro. Just gets it deep as Tetro cuts him off. Young up to Federley, backhands it to Freeborn, has some space, he shoots, stopped by Murray with the blocker. That pass got to Freeborn a little quicker, he may have been able to get a better chance there. Ruiz with a pull-up move, but Johnson comes back to lift his stick and poke it out of the zone. Abdella right off the bench, gets back to it. Prowlers also in the midst of a change. Yao tips it in. Under 5 to go in the second period. Schumacher to Graham, has Jay moving up. Tried to get it there off the boards. Jay catches up to it. Around the net, stops up behind Schumacher, the one-timer stop. Tried to turn the rebound back on net, but Woolley instead goes the other direction. Working on Heinzel, drops to McKittrick, makes a move. His pass blocked by the stickless Frank Schumacher. Now Woolley steps out, throws it too tall. 44 seconds to go in the 4-on-4. Yao around the net, wraparound stop, and now it's a stickless Matt Graham who gave up his twig to Schumacher, and now Graham picks up Schumacher's stick. Meanwhile, it's Abdella working the other direction. Abdella gets in, whistle blows, and the net came off, I guess a while ago, and they never fixed it when the puck went out to center. We'll take a break. 4:08 to go in period 2. 1-1 score. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network.
At Hungry Howie's, we're famous for flavor, and this is our Chief Flavor Officer. Every hour of every day, our CFO obsesses over the tastiest ingredients, combining them to create new flavor combinations your taste buds never knew they needed. Until now. Introducing his latest master pizza, the Pepperoni Duo. A delicious combination of classic cut pepperoni, original pepperoni, 100% mozzarella cheese, and our famous flavored crust. 2 kinds of pepperoni, all kinds of delicious.
Hungry?
Howie's! 4:08 to go in the Hungry Howie's second period. Prowlers and Hat-Tricks tied up at 1. We've seen tempers flare in the last few minutes. And it should be an interesting third period coming up. But first, the last few minutes of this middle frame. Still 4-on-4 for the next 26 seconds. Shots in the period favoring the Prowlers 10-6. The Hat-Tricks leading in that category 24-20. Pamelayan and Federle. For this face-off, Federle wins it back. And Parsons played it right through the middle of the ice. Nobody home there on the other side to receive that pass. Cunningham turns the corner, took the shot, kicked out by Wallace. It was more of a shot pass from Cunningham, had a couple of players in front. Now Federle the other direction, stopped by Murray. And dumped all the way out back to Prowler ice. We're back to 5-on-5 as Brown and Scantleberry step out of the boxes. Scantleberry got a touch on that puck as it goes deep. LaBelle off the glass. Pamelayan stopped up. And now Freeborn looking towards Scantleberry. Parsons recollects it, the red line, sends Freeborn on to Scantleberry. Stepping around Pamelayan, centering feed cut off by Cunningham. Glove down by Young. Couldn't work in, lost the handle. Here comes Tetro with a step and passing options. Great play by Brian Parsons, reaching out the stick while diving out, and now a 3-on-2 the other direction. Here's Ross Bartlett. Pass across, Scantleberry couldn't pull the trigger. Back to Bartlett, centering feed. Chartrand from the outside had his shot off a stick and fly high. Bartlett with his head up. He'll cycle it. Chartrand behind the net. Wraparound try. They blow it dead because the net came off. And once again, no boos for this net coming off. 2:36 to go in period number 2. Prowlers at the top line, out there against Zach Pamelayan, who's playing up right now with DiNicola and Zinchenko. Usually Brandon Stoichevsky on this line. Here's Johnson cutting in. His shot goes wide off a body. Heinzel kept it alive. Zinchenko flies it out. Johnson up towards Federle. He'll touch it in. Yao rims it around. Got through Graham, goes all the way down, and icing will be waved off. Federle got it out. Ruiz turns it back in. On to Zinchenko. Has Woolley going to the net. His pass off the stick of Federle. Yao. As it go to the corner, Johnson plays it around to Federle. Back over to Alex Johnson on the near side. Sent it out to neutral ice. Henning tracks it down. Tried to dump it in, hit the linesman. Henning after it himself. He and Heinzel come together. Ruiz behind the net, hassled by Adam Heinzel. And now Johnson knocks his man down, gets the puck out. Freeborn and Brown hustling after it. Brown just able to get it to McKittrick. Prowlers in the midst of a change. Here come the Hat-Tricks with an on-man rush, and Woolley's shot kicked out by Wallace. And now it's Tecumseh the other way. On to Foley. Abdella able to take it from Evan Foley and loft it out. Jay turns it back up in the final minute. Jay with a quick shot, blocked. Rebound pushed back towards the net, but Abdella able to block that one as well. Here comes Xavier Abdella, poked off his stick by Foley. Now Brian Parsons to Schumacher with 40 seconds to go in the period. Up to Scantleberry, 4 Hat-Tricks back. Scantleberry tried to send it on net, but he didn't get the puck. Scantleberry turnaround try, also fanned on. Falanga tried to work it up the wall. Scantleberry this time had his shot blocked. Falanga again. Parsons blocks it with his body. And it's chopped to Cunningham. 10 seconds to go in the period. His pass taken away by Dalton Young, who has some skating room with 5. Young winds, fires, blocked by Dustin Henning. Cunningham plays it to the corner. And that's going to do it for 40 minutes here in Danbury. 1 goal aside and some more gatherings. Over on the far side, Parsons and Abdella having a chat. The linesman will keep everybody apart. Both teams heading to their respective locker rooms. And what a 40 minutes it has been. We've seen just about it all. Both goaltenders have been spectacular. 1 goal apiece. Shots on goal in that period favoring the Prowlers 10-8. And 26-20 for Danbury is the official total for the game so far. Coming up in this second intermission, we'll chat about what this game has looked like, what the weekend has looked like, and what's ahead for the Prowlers coming up in the next couple of weeks. We'll also take a look at the Michigan Sports Scoreboard again, or the local sports scoreboard, whatever you want to call it, as this is the only game in the FPHL tonight. And if you remember from the last 2 games this weekend, this is an extended intermission here in Danbury. They, instead of putting the usual 18 minutes up on the clock, it's 22 minutes in the second intermission here in Danbury. So be prepared to buckle in and wait for the hockey to return. I mean, after the first period of this game, we should be used to some lengthy time, as first period seemed to take a lot of time, and this second intermission will as well. Secure your seats for the Prowlers' next home game as they host the Blue Ridge Bobcats on Friday, March 8th, with puck drop at McMorran Place scheduled for 7:05 p.m. Tickets are available online at phprowlers.com/tickets, by phone at 810-985-6166, or by scanning the QR code on your screen now. That's online at phprowlers.com/tickets, by phone at 810-985-6166, or scan the QR code on your screen now to experience Prowlers hockey live and in person at the Old Bar in McMorran Place the way it was meant to be enjoyed. It will be the first ever meeting between the Prowlers and the Blue Ridge Bobcats, so you won't want to miss a little bit of history there, and maybe a little bit of honoring for Dalton J as he picked up his 500th career FPHL point this weekend. We'll take a timeout for now. When we come back, we'll chat about the game so far, and we'll do it here on the PHP Network.
I've worked at Pioneer and now Corteva for 36 years. It goes by very quickly.
This is a pretty noble profession where you're giving back to humanity.
Curiosity is so important. I learn something new every day.
What's that next challenge that may occur for farmers? You do really feel like you've got an impact on what's coming.
I can see how we're making things better.
And we have the best solutions for our farmers. And I think we're here to feed and fuel the world. I'm proud to be part of that culture, and I'm proud to be part of the company.
At Hungry Howie's, we're famous for flavor, and this is our Chief Flavor Officer. Every hour of every day, our CFO obsesses over the tastiest ingredients, combining them to create new flavor combinations your taste buds never knew they needed. Until now. Introducing his latest master pizza, the Pepperoni Duo. A delicious combination of classic cut pepperoni, original pepperoni, 100% mozzarella cheese, and our famous flavored crust. 2 kinds of pepperoni, all kinds of delicious.
Hungry?
Howie's!
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
They're seriously not even that much better than you.
Should've just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should've just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com.
Back here and Danbury. Prowlers and Hat-Tricks knotted up at 1 through 40 minutes of play. It's been a good one, and we should get a fiery third period. Will Wiggleman back with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. Again, this is the only game in the FPHL today, and a chance for the Prowlers to pick up some more points on the Mississippi Seawolves. They've already gained one more over the Seawolves, came into the weekend 6 points up on Mississippi, now 7 points up on the Seawolves, and this is the Prowlers' game in hand that they currently have on Mississippi. Prowlers have played 40, Seawolves have played 41, so the Prowlers have one extra game. This is it right here, and to pick up some points here today would go a long way towards securing that 3 seed in the Continental Division. And of course, Prowlers' magic number to clinch the playoffs is 21. It may feel a little bit early to be talking about that at 21 points, but that is 21 points that the Prowlers get combined with the Blue Ridge Bobcats do not get. So certainly an opportunity for that to happen at some point in probably mid to late March will be when we're really talking about it. But just to throw the number out there, as the Prowlers may become the next team to clinch a playoff spot, we'll see. Of course, the Motor City Rockers over in the Empire Division will also have a chance, but the Watertown Wolves a little bit more competitive than the Blue Ridge Bobcats this season, so that also affects the numbers. But we'll see if the Prowlers can be the next team to clinch the Commissioner's Cup playoffs, although it will be a little while before that happens. But we get back to tonight's game, and it was a scoreless first period, and a first period that felt like it took ages. And despite not too much going on, again, no goals, not too much in the way of penalties, just a couple of penalties in that opening period, but it felt like it took forever. Lots of whistles, just really choppy play. Then you get to the second period, and a little bit less on the whistles, but a little bit more on the rough stuff. We saw there over by the Prowlers crease when Scantlebury and Brown ended up getting the penalties out of the fracas that happened on top of Ian Wallace. Cunningham got tangled up with Wallace. Heinzel was trying to pull him off, and then that drew the crowd, and it ended up being Chartrand, Brown, and Scantlebury the main show as Brown jumped on Chartrand, Scantlebury jumped on Brown, and they were going at it, but not too bad to get a fighting major, just 2 minutes for roughing each. Roughing is such a great penalty. It has such a wide range of uses in the sport of hockey, so we saw one of those uses there, but this second period, again, started to ramp up a little bit. Evan Foley gets the first goal of the game, and a nice play by Vinny DeCumbis, chipping it out at his own blue line to start an odd man rush, and a nice feed to Foley, who found the top corner over Murray's glove hand. Made 1-0 Prowlers, and then Jared Yao with a nice wrist shot as well. Top corner on Ian Wallace after Prowlers failed to get the puck out as they were killing. Ratcliffe got it over to Yao, who had plenty of space as the Prowlers were bunched up on the near side, digging for the puck, trying to move it out. And Yao stepped in, picked his spot, and tied this score up at 1 goal apiece, and that is where we stand. We're just minutes away from third period action here in Danbury. Third game of a 3-3, the final game of this regular season series between the Prowlers and the Hat-Tricks. Hat-Tricks have taken the first 4. Prowlers are 0-2-2 against the Hat-Tricks this season, and they'll try to end the season series on a high note. But they'll need to win the third period, or at least tie the third period and win overtime. Of course, this season series, no stranger to extra hockey. Hat-Tricks have an overtime win and a shootout win over the Prowlers this season. When we come back, the local sports scoreboard, the upcoming schedule, and we'll take a look at the stats from this game so far. We'll do it next, right here on the PHP Network.
I've worked at Pioneer and now Corteva for 36 years. It goes by very quickly.
This is a pretty noble profession where you're giving back to humanity.
Curiosity is so important. I learn something new every day.
What's that next challenge that may occur for farmers? You do really feel like you've got an impact on what's coming.
I can see how we're making things better.
And we have the best solutions for our farmers. And I think we're here to feed and fuel the world. I'm proud to be part of that culture, and I'm proud to be part of the company.
At Hungry Howie's, we're famous for flavor, and this is our Chief Flavor Officer. Every hour of every day, our CFO obsesses over the tastiest ingredients, combining them to create new flavor combinations your taste buds never knew they needed. Until now. Introducing his latest master pizza, the Pepperoni Duo. A delicious combination of classic cut pepperoni, original pepperoni, 100% mozzarella cheese, and our famous flavored crust. 2 kinds of pepperoni, all kinds of delicious.
Hungry?
Howie's!
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
They're seriously not even that much better than you.
Should've just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com.
Welcome back to Danbury, wrapping up the second intermission. Prowlers and Hat-Tricks tied at a goal. Will Wiggleman back with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us today. Third game of the three-game set. Prowlers trying to head home with a win. They do have 1 point in their pocket, but certainly want a lot more out of a three-game series here in Danbury. But before we take a look at everything that's gone on here so far, we take a look at the local sports scoreboard. And coming up just about as this game finishes up, the Detroit Pistons are in Orlando taking on the Magic as the Magic search for their fourth straight win at home. Orlando significantly favored in this matchup. If you thought this game was early, well, there are three other games around Michigan sports that have already gone final. We start with some spring training baseball. Tigers beat the Yankees 7-2 today. Casey Mize picks up the victory after 1 hit and 2 strikeouts and 2 walks over 2 innings. Andy Ibanez sent a solo shot into the seats. And the Tigers move to 4-4 in their spring training play so far. The Saginaw Spirit took down the Guelph Storm 5-2 on the road. Jorian Donovan with 2 goals and 2 helpers to lead the way. Alex Christopoulos also had a goal and an assist for Saginaw. Braden Bowman, 2 goals for the Storm. Saginaw, of course, the hosts for the Memorial Cup. First time this century that the United States is hosting the Memorial Cup. So certainly exciting things coming up for the Spirit for the Memorial Cup time, and they've been building up the roster, trying to load up to be as competitive as possible and try and win the Memorial Cup as they host it. Finally, Michigan State women's basketball, behind 20 points from Moira Joyner, defeated Wisconsin 78-52 on the road as they wrapped up conference play. They get set for the Big Ten tournament. Spartans finish 4th in the Big Ten at 12-6 and 22-7 overall. They'll try to pick up the Big Ten title, but it will be tough, of course. You have Ohio State, who's ranked number 2, number 6 Iowa as well, led by Caitlin Clark. Iowa actually beat Ohio State 93-83 earlier today. So plenty of good competition in the Big Ten in women's basketball as the Spartans get set for the conference tourney. Moving on back to the Prowlers, take a look at their upcoming schedule. Of course, they have a chance to significantly reduce their magic number to make the playoffs next weekend as they face the Blue Ridge Bobcats. And if the Prowlers take all 6 points in those 2 games against the Bobcats, that will send their magic number all the way down from 21 to 9 because you factor in 6 points the Prowlers get plus 6 points that the Bobcats miss out on. So not only are you getting closer to the bar is also getting closer to you every time you beat the Bobcats. So great opportunity for the Prowlers to get that much closer to clinching their spot in the playoffs. They also will face the Watertown Wolves on that Sunday. And of course that means more than likely Dakota Seaman will be playing. Last time he was in the building, he was suspended 7 games for clipping Tucker Scantleberry. And then the following week, the Prowlers will get another 3-3, this time with the Motor City Rockers. First game is at McMorran Place, and the second 2 at Big Boy Arena. Against a jam-packed month of March for the Prowlers. 4 of the 5 weekends in the month are featuring 3 games in 3 nights. But at least for the Prowlers, they don't have to leave the state of Michigan again until April. So they at least have that. They don't have to do too much travel for any more 3-3s. Let's turn our attention back to this 3-3, the third game of this 3-3. 1-1 our score. Shots are 26-20 in favor of the Hat-Tricks, although they've just added 4 more shots for the Prowlers, so I guess we have to update this to 24-20. They just added those as I was talking about it, as I'm looking at my penalty sheet. So right now, if you will, the shots are 4-0 for the Prowlers in the third period before the third period even begins. How do you like that? Well, doesn't matter all that much, but shots officially 26-24 in favor of the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Hat-Tricks have the only power play goal of the night. And, despite all the rough stuff, all the animosity that we've seen at different points in this game, only 16 total penalty minutes between the two teams and only 4 power plays total. So we'll see if the Prowlers can come out on top here in the third period. They are taking the ice and they're getting set. Ian Wallace in the goal crease to our right, 25 saves on 26 Hat-Trick shots. Liam Murray in the goal crease to our left, 23 saves on 24 Prowlers shots so far in this one. Both teams getting set to step onto the ice and line up at center for period number 3 in a tied hockey game. Who will be the hero? It's Bartlett and Ruiz at center to start things off in period number 3 here in Danbury. Cunningham gets the first dump in. Heinzel and McKittrick after it. It pops out to Chartrand. Has Scantleberry on the move. He'll chip it to him. Scantleberry tried to work it in front off of Henning's skate. He plays it off the glass and out. Cunningham and Heinzel hustling after it. They come together in the corner. Cunningham put it towards the net, and Wallace freezes it for a whistle. Both teams making their first changes of this third period. If you're just joining us, Evan Foley, Jared Yao with the goals so far tonight, or today, this afternoon. Off the drop, it's Johnson playing it up to Freeborn. who gave it right back. Lead pass on for Federley as Graham gives it to him, to the front, looking towards Freeborn, crashing the back post. Federley behind the net. Backdoor play. Brown had Freeborn locked up, and now the Hat Tricks looking to start an odd man rush, but Ratcliffe couldn't get the pass through to Yao. The Prowlers regroup. Here's DeCumbus to Freeborn. Stepped up on by Brown. Puck ends up behind the net. Foley tried a quick centering feed, but he fanned on it. Here comes Ratcliffe. Had it stolen by DeCumbus. Foley works in. Quick shot off a stick. Goes wide. Foley back in front. And it hops into the catching glove of Liam Murray. Just about a minute and a half gone here in period number 3. Prowlers and Hat Tricks tied up at 1 goal apiece. Foley wins that face-off to the wall. Parsons dumps it around. Foley and Falanga after it. Falanga wins that battle. They'll get it to Abdella. His dump went off of Stoichevsky, so that draws the Hat Tricks offside. We'll get a whistle and a face-off. 18:15 to go in period number 3. Face-off just outside of Prowlers territory. Bartlett, in his first game of the season, won that draw. Schumacher's dump off of a Hat Trick stick, so no icing. Scantleberry couldn't put it out in front. Bartlett got it back to Scantleberry. Makes a move to the crease. Bartlett from the side of the net. Couldn't get it to go. Schumacher and Di Nicola both overskate the puck. Scantleberry from the point has a shot blocked by Tetro. Schumacher. Now Heinzel steps into it, fires it wide. Big carom off the boards. Scantleberry a steal. Turnaround try. They jam away at the crease. Chartrand put it back on. And Murray is on top of it. Where's the puck? Murray doing all he can to make sure that puck isn't on top of the goal line. And it isn't. Chartrand put it on from just about the goal line. Everybody switches to the bench. Couple of turnovers by the Hat Tricks in their own end. Prowlers got some good opportunities. Now the Hat Tricks looking for some chances of their own. Graham chips it over to the corner. Henning and Freeborn come together. Ruiz rims it around the glass. And now Johnson. Graham able to force it to Freeborn. Now Dalton Young jumps in and works up the right wing side. Gets into offensive territory. Rolls to Henning. He moves it up towards McKittrick. Pops out to Ruiz. Has Cunningham with him. He'll just dump it in right on Wallace, who elects to hang on for a whistle and a face-off. Just over 3 minutes gone here in period 3. It's the first shot for the Hat Tricks. We'll see if they'll award them a shot on goal. It says Prowlers up 7-0 on shots right now in the period, but they did give the Prowlers 4 before the period started that I think belonged in the second period, so it's actually 3-0 Prowlers. Dumped down by Parsons. It's Yao rimming it around. Ratcliffe couldn't bring that puck in as Deck stepped up on him. Icing waved off. Foley and Pamaleon come together. Centering feed bounces around. And the Hat Tricks couldn't get a shot off. Yao does now. And that was about a foot over top of the cage, maybe more. Got past Parsons. Up the wall it comes again. Brown rims it around. Jay able to chip it by Yao. It will roll and just go for icing. So a tired group of Prowlers will be forced to stay out there for this defensive zone face-off, and the Hat-Tricks get some fresh bodies on the ice. Foley and Falanga on this face-off. Falanga wins it back. Abdella works down the wall. But try to back pass, didn't get past the goal line in front. Foley down on a knee, still holding on to that puck. Stoichevsky towards the cage, ends up slipping wide. Zinchenko couldn't put it on goal. And the Prowlers get it out of their own end. They'll get to begin a change. Deck reverses to Federley. And now on to Freeborn. Makes a move, makes another, gets around. Stopped by Murray as Liam Freeborn got around both Hat-Tricks defensemen, and only Liam Murray could stop him. Nice moves from Freeborn. The net came off its moorings. And the Prowlers that close once again. They'll move the face-off outside. Interesting enough. Maybe they think Freeborn was the reason it came off. Either way, they have Bartlett and Ruiz on this face-off. And now it's LaBelle. Up to Ruiz, he rims it around. Bartlett pulls up in the corner. McKittrick couldn't push through. Scantleberry. Now Johnson. Back up to Scantleberry. He's able to move it to Chartrand, has Bartlett moving with him. Chartrand chips it around Henning. They lock up. Puck pops up in the air, out of play. Prowlers seem to think that was delay of game. Henning slow to his skates. We'll take a break. Just over 5 minutes gone in period 3. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated.
Enterprising.
The most creative people.
They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
Come fill McMorran Place at every Prowlers home game this season. General admission tickets are just $15 with discounts available for seniors, military, students, and children under 12. Upgrade your experience in one of our suites, or bring the whole squad to the game with discounts for groups of 10 or more. Find your best option to visit the Thumb Coast professional hockey team by visiting phprowlers.com and find the tickets tab, or call the box office at 810-985-6166. Secure your seats today.
Just over 5 minutes gone in period number 3. 1-1 our score between the Prowlers and the Hat-Tricks. Both goals coming in period 2. Prowlers looking to break the deadlock here with an offensive zone faceoff. They've had the better of the play early on in this third period, and they send their top line right back out there, who gets plenty of ice time and dominates when they're out there. In the words of Chris Paulin, here's Freeborn, makes a move, backhander off the glove of Murray, who will gather it back in for a whistle and a face-off. Freeborn got a pretty good shot off. And both teams will switch up the forward lines. Ross Bartlett and Johnny Ruiz for this face-off. As the Hat-Tricks send out their top line. Yao chasing after it. Scantleberry stops the puck there. Now Ruiz turning away from Tucker Scantleberry. And he gave it up to Chartrand. Scantleberry to Bartlett. Turnaround shot on the backhand. Pad save by Murray. Ratcliffe the other way. Chips it in. Schumacher to Johnson. And now Dan Chartrand. Scantleberry one-hands it around Abdella. They lock up. Abdella lost his helmet. Meanwhile, it's Tetro. Waiting for the regroup to happen, and here comes Falanga up the left wing side. Falanga with speed gets in, he shoots, great save by Wallace as Michael Falanga got through everyone, heading back towards the net, was kicked out, and Henning recollects at center. McKittrick dumps it in. Heinzel, Foley, touched along, and DeCumbus slides it out. LaBelle sees it tipped along. Heinzel, back pass to Foley. Tried to find Federley, but they got their wires crossed. Zinchenko drops it for Henning towards the net. Stopped by Wallace. He'll gather it in and cover up for a whistle and a face-off with 13:09 to go in period number 3. Fourth shot of the period for the Hat-Tricks. Prowlers have 5. Graham and Stoychevsky on this face-off. They dig away. Pulled out by Woolley. Couldn't get on net. Brown sends it around. Moved along. Cunningham from the outside. Turning on Graham. Cunningham to Stoychevsky. Up top, Brown. Tried to wrist it deep. Cunningham behind the net looking for a wrap. Prowlers keep him from getting back in front of the net. Brown down the wall. Prowlers pinned in their own end right now. Cunningham backdoor play. They score. It's Stoychevsky on the receiving end of that pass. And the Hat-Tricks take their first lead of the afternoon. Brandon Stoychevsky was 14th of the year as the Hat-Tricks with a great shift in the Prowlers' end had them pinned in the entire time. And they make it a 2-1 game, and the Prowlers will need another third period comeback to get some points in this game. That was a hard-working shift by the Hat-Tricks against the Prowlers' top line. Able to keep it deep and set up the backdoor play. Here's Abdella. Bounce back the other way. Now Bartlett with a steal. Down towards Scantleberry. Abdella able to impede that shot just enough. Now Heinzel with a drive right into the catching glove of Murray. He saw it the whole way, and Abdella and Scantleberry come together. Everybody separated and will head back where they're supposed to. Prowlers switch up all 5 on the ice. Foley and Ruiz with the all-captains face-off. Foley wins it to the boards. Parsons walks the line. Tried to wrist it through, blocked by Henning. Little kick save and a beauty from Dustin Henning. Chipped around Johnson. McKittrick couldn't come back for it. And Jay with 4 hat-tricks back enters offensive territory and dumps it around. Foley back up the wall. Johnson collects. Bounced off the glass and out. Johnson retreats in his own end. And now Pamaleon up towards LaBelle. Parsons puts it back there, and LaBelle this time able to get it deep. Steve Brown and Connor Woolley picking up the assist on the goal by Stoyshevsky. Freeborn dangles through center, gets into offensive territory, fires a pass across, Federally stopped by Murray, who stands tall. Cunningham to Dina Cola. Parsons takes it from him. There's Frank Schumacher on to Graham, now Federally. Slowly in, gives it to Graham. Lost the handle. Brown taken in by Liam Freeborn. Graham in front, off a skate. Murray forced to make a save. Puck bounces around before Pamaleon and skated out. His team in the midst of a change. He'll slow up, waits for help. Got it down for Stoyshevsky. Taken into the wall by Heinzel. Battled for. Chartrand in there. He chases after it and skates out with it. Chips it around LaBelle. Tetro. Checked by Scantleberry. Chartrand cycles it deep. LaBelle cut it off. Chartrand towards the net. Knocked down. Johnson just couldn't keep the blue line, so delayed offside situation as the Hat-Trick's able to get it out, but they vice the puck. So the Prowlers will get an offensive zone face-off when we come back. Under 10 to play here in period 3. Prowlers trail by a goal. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network. Back here in Danbury, 9:52 to go in period number 3. Prowlers trail by a goal in the only game in the FPHL today. Will Wiggleman with you on the PHP Network. If you're not a fan of the Prowlers, we hope to see you again at some point later on this season. If you are a fan of the Prowlers, appreciate you for tuning in. We appreciate everyone who's tuning in and joining us for this afternoon's game. They get set for an offensive zone face-off in Liam Murray's end. And now we are set to go. Graham and Stoyshevsky to take the draw. Graham wins it back. Johnson wrists it towards the net. Tipped wide by Freeborn on the back post. That close. And it gets past Parsons. Wallace coming all the way out for it. He'll play it right back up. Touched along to Graham. Has Federally, but they call offsides. Austin Federally wants to know why. But the Prowlers will have to take the face-off outside of offensive territory here with 9:35 left in period 3. And Ruiz wins it forward. He tried to move along with it, but was poked off his stick. Johnson moves it up to Scantleberry. Now here comes Ross Bartlett, dumping it in from the red line. Henning and Chartrand come in together. Schumacher to the net. And Murray kicks out the right pad with Scantleberry flying by looking for a tip. Bartlett drops it for Heinzel fresh off the bench. Schumacher up to Dalton Jay. He'll rev the engines and head up ice. Jay to Scantleberry, back in front Went right through the blue paint. Scantleberry behind the net. Looking for a centering pass. He'll step out. Give to Schumacher at the point. Wrists it deep. Foley knocks it down. Gives it back to Frank Schumacher. To the net. Stopped by Murray. Henning bounces it around towards Pamaleon. He's forced back. Pamaleon up to Ratcliffe. He lifts it out. Skating into it is Cunningham. He tried to chip it around Heinzel. Those two go down together, and now DeCumbis out with it. We approach 8 minutes to go in regulation. LaBelle and DeCumbis after it in the corner. Falenga leaves it for Cunningham. LaBelle again. Long lead pass. Dina Cola plays it across to Brown. LaBelle to Dina Cola. He tips it in. Alex Johnson on for Matt Graham. Able to send it out. LaBelle tried to bang it right back the other direction, but Dina Cola works in on Johnson. Pulls up, and Johnson takes it from him with help from Liam Freeborn. Pamaleon to Zinchenko. Zinchenko dumps it in. Federley after it as well. Rimmed up to Tetro to the net, and an easy glove save for Ian Wallace. Just over 7 minutes left here in regulation. Prowlers and Hat Tricks locked in battle. Hat Tricks with the 1-goal lead on the strength of Brendan Stoyshevsky's third period tally. Comes deep to Zinchenko, but is reverse stolen by Bartlett. Scantleberry towards Chartrand, tips it along, avoids the contact from Tetro, who's able to bang it out. Young retreats. Schumacher's pass deflects, and now Bartlett skates into it. Tried to find Chartrand, who is heading down the middle of the ice. That was blocked away. Schumacher turns it to Chartrand. Up towards Scantleberry. Ruiz fresh off the bench. Picks off that pass and heads in. Ruiz takes the shot, and Wallace makes the save and pushes away from the goal line to make sure that puck doesn't cross. Defensive zone faceoff coming for the Prowlers. They send out the Evan Foley line. He'll take the draw with Ruiz. LaBelle dumps it deep. Parsons dumps his man. Now Henning hustling after it. Head up, he gives it over to LaBelle, slips through him. And out to center. Johnson dumps it right back around. Murray played it towards LaBelle, was knocked down and loose for a moment. Now Ratcliffe able to dump it in. Took a funny hop off the boards. Jay with 5 hat tricks in front of him and his team in the midst of a change. Will dump it in from the red line. Abdella to Ratcliffe. Gets it out. Johnson trying to play it away from McKittrick. Now Freeborn to Parsons. Back up to Freeborn. Makes a move around Ratcliffe. Now Federley. Back to Freeborn. Turning the corner behind the net. Graham up high. Parsons. Wrist shot through. Score! Brian Parsons, a seeing eye wrister, has tied the game at 2. Fourth of the year for Parsons. He breaks a 29-game goal drought after he had goals in back-to-back-to-back games all the way back in November. And that's a big one for number 16 in white. Plenty of traffic in front of Liam Murray. I'm not sure if he even saw that puck as Parsons does what he does so well, just got the puck through, and that time it found the back of the net. So we're tied at 2 with 5 minutes to go in regulation, and are we destined for more extra hockey? Heinzel gives it to DeCumbus. And now Jay skates into it. Tried to make a move around Pamaleon. Jay has it back to DeCumbus with a one-timer. Rose too high. Schumacher behind the net to Foley. Tried a centering feed that went off of Pamaleon. They dig for it. Pamaleon tried to pull it out. Foley takes it. And Brown staples him to the glass. Graham and Freeborn picking up the helpers as Murray makes the glove save. Brian Parsons with the goal that ties this one up with under 5 to play. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network.
At Hungry Howie's, we're famous for flavor, and this is our Chief Flavor Officer. Every hour of every day, our CFO obsesses over the tastiest ingredients, combining them to create new flavor combinations your taste buds never knew they needed. Until now. Introducing his latest master pizza, the Pepperoni Duo. A delicious combination of classic cut pepperoni, original pepperoni, 100% mozzarella cheese, and our famous flavored crust. 2 kinds of pepperoni, all kinds of delicious.
Hungry?
Howie's! We invite you to tune into our next broadcast Friday, March 8th, when the Prowlers host the Blue Ridge Bobcats for the very first time. Puck drop scheduled for 7:05 p.m. and the pregame show starts at 6:50. It's all right here on the PHP Network. Off this face-off, here's Parsons. Wrist shot, this time blocked by LaBelle. Ruiz skates into it, gives it to Ratcliffe as Ruiz going to the net. Instead goes to McKittrick, the trailer. Knocked down by Chartrand, and they'll call the penalty. It was the back referee who called it. And now a big power play for Danbury. With 4:06 left in regulation. And just moments after the Prowlers tie the game, Dan Chartrand heads to the box. He's not happy with the call. He was muscling with McKittrick, who was heading towards the net. McKittrick went down. Now Braden Deck is going to the box as well. Now I wonder if the Prowlers have earned themselves another penalty here. Not sure why Deck is in the box. We'll find out at some point. Nothing has been put up on the board yet. There are 4 Prowlers out there and 5 hat tricks, so maybe Chartrand earned himself an extra 10 for complaining. So walks, wrist shot down to Ruiz, back to LaBelle. Winds, Ruiz fires off the glass, comes to McKittrick. LaBelle wrists it through, hit a Prowler up high, bounces around, Graham finds it, can't send it down. Ruiz had it taken by Graham and just does force it out of the blue line, and Patrick tried to play it up to Ruiz before he exited offensive territory. And Dan Chartrand is going to head to the locker room, as I guess he did pick up a 10-minute misconduct. So he gets to head to the showers early, as he will not be able to play in the rest of this game or the rest of this third period or overtime, because there's fewer than 5 minutes left. So you take less than 5 minutes and then 5 minutes of overtime. That would mean he's not able to play for the rest of this game, but now Chartrand is right back in the box. Now they're discussing with the crew inside of the scorers table. So Chartrand has 2 for holding and a 10 for abuse of officials, which, as it's listed here, is an ejection and a game misconduct. And he thinks he should be going off. That's what it says on my penalty sheet. He should be going off, and indeed he should. So now back across goes Dan Chartrand, and he will head to the locker room. So finally off the face-off, Carson sends it down. Now McKittrick starts up, LaBelle on to Cunningham. Now comes through to McKittrick to Ruiz. Couldn't handle the pass. Now Ruiz about around the net, bounce pass, finds LaBelle halfway through the penalty. It's LaBelle, winds, fires, stopped by Wallace, and it caroms out to center. 3 minutes to go in regulation. Biggest kill of the game for the Prowlers. 42 seconds left in it. LaBelle, watched by Freeborn, gives to Woolley. Freeborn hassles him for a moment and forces him back. Woolley reverses to Ratcliffe, and now the Hat-Tricks will start to move up ice with 25 to go in their man advantage. Di Nicola to the trailer, Pamaleon. Now Stoychevsky looking, finds Pamaleon again. Wrist shot, got through, and right into the catching glove of Ian Wallace, and he gives a little windmill to boot. Shots now even at 35 apiece for the game. 11-9 in favor of the Prowlers in this third period. 2:18 to go, and 11 seconds again left on the penalty being served by Braden Deck. Di Nicola gives it back to LaBelle, walks the line, looking, gets it back, one-timer, stopped by Wallace, rebound there, and Wallace keeps it out as the penalty expires. And Ian Wallace with a huge save there. A couple of stops on deflected shots from the point. We're back to 5-on-5. Time running down. And are we destined for our third overtime game in this season series and second of the weekend? Here comes Evan Foley on for Dalton Jay from the outside. His shot, Murray got a piece, I think, as it went wide. Jay couldn't get that puck, and now Di Nicola works it out. Parsons gets the red line, gets it in. Henning up to Di Nicola, reaches out for it. He tosses it into Prowler territory where Frank Schumacher plays it. Quick up to Jay. Makes a move at center. But his backhander blocked by Ratcliffe. McKittrick looking towards Ruiz. Pamaleon stays in the zone. Now Scantleberry able to chop it out. That one will go for icing against the Prowlers with 70 seconds left to go in this third period. "70 seconds left in a tied hockey game. Prowlers have Bartlett, Jay, and Scantleberry out there, bit of a mixed line. Top line out there now for Danbury. And now the Prowlers will take their time out to give their guys an extra break ahead of this face-off. Well, this has been an entertaining last 40 minutes after what felt like the longest first 20 minutes of all time at the start of this game. Things finally picked up in the second period. Got a goal from each side. Evan Foley and Jared Yao found the back of the net. And then in the third period, it was Stoichevsky on the backdoor play. And just a few minutes ago of game time, Brian Parsons with a seeing eye wrister that made it through traffic and got past Murray to the back of the net. That is where we stand, 2-2, our score. Prowlers have to defend a face-off to Ian Wallace's left after the icing. They do get the timeout to get a few seconds of rest for their guys. The Prowlers were able to sneak Austin Federley out there for this face-off. Ruiz and Scantlebury take this draw. Couple of false starts, and we'll see if we can get the face-off down. This time we do. Federley works it out, has Jay, goes it off the boards to him, but he couldn't recollect. And now the hat trick's the other way. Final minute of play in the third. Ratcliffe knocked off his stick by Schumacher. Now Federley on to Jay, looking towards Scantlebury. He and Brown go after it together. Now LaBelle dumps it right out. Johnson chops at it. Right back to LaBelle it comes. McKittrick dumps it around. Wallace gives it off to Parsons. Patrick makes some changes. Parsons off the boards onto Federley. Looking towards Graham. Tetro got in the way. Now Parsons steps up. Sent it towards the net off a stick. Pamaleon dumps it out off of Cunningham's stick. And we're down to the final 10 seconds of regulation. Tetro looks up at the clock. He'll hold it and plays to Zinchenko. And how about a little more extra hockey? We'll head to overtime. Tied up at 2 goals apiece. Third time in this 5-game season series and second time this weekend. We will have a 5-minute sudden death overtime. Ian Wallace, of course, between the pipes on Friday night for the shootout game that turned into a victory for the Hat Tricks in 5 rounds. But you see the records on the screen now. Again, these are the records for games that have ended in overtime, so these records have not changed since you last saw them on Friday. Prowlers are 3-5 in games that have ended in overtime. Hat Tricks have 2 overtime winners this season, one of them against the Prowlers, all the way back in December. That came off the stick of Jacob Ratcliffe, who also scored the shootout winner 2 nights ago. Want to give you one more reminder, tune in to our next broadcast, Friday, March 8th, when the Prowlers host the Blue Ridge Bobcats and face them for the very first time. Puck drop scheduled for 7:05 p.m. Pre-game show starts at 6:50 right here on the PHP network. But be sure to be in the building at McMorran Place for that game and the other 2 going on next weekend. Taking a shot at Breast Cancer Night coming up on that Saturday. So that's, of course, always a big event. And the Prowlers will have a big chance to continue to reduce their magic number, which is now down to 20 points, to clinch the playoffs, as they've earned a point here today. And this has absolutely been a game where both teams have earned a point. Prowlers with the top line on the ice. Graham, Freeborn, and Federley. Hat tricks begin with Falanga, Ratcliffe, and LaBelle. 5 minutes on the clock. Overtime has begun. Federley has the first possession for the Prowlers. He'll step out. On for Freeborn. Steps in on LaBelle. Freeborn pulls up, gives to Graham. Works down the wall, and he'll play it all the way back. Federally chase after it into his own end. Both teams making their first changes of overtime. Evan Foley and Johnny Ruiz stepping onto the ice. Freeborn to Federley. Has his head up as he slowly drops back. Prowlers have had possession for the entire first 55 seconds of overtime. Now it's Evan Foley. Off the backboards to Alex Johnson. He's watched by Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe and LaBelle, who started overtime, still on the ice for Danbury. The pass behind DeCumbus. Johnson comes back for it. Now Ratcliffe and LaBelle going to get their changes. Prowlers come up with speed. Johnson took a shot. It was stopped by Murray, who's just able to knock it down. Little pinball shot off a stick. And now the Hat Tricks get their first possession with 3.5 to go. McKittrick walking in on Foley. McKittrick got too deep, tried to make a pass in front, went off of Wooly's skate. McKittrick down the wall, watched by Foley. McKittrick behind the net. In front, Pamaleon, stick handle, puck is in Federley's skates. Fans want a penalty, they won't get one, but they will see Matt Graham on a breakaway. Winds and fires, knocked down by Murray. Now Federley on the rebound, down to Graham, backdoor play, they jam and score! Matt Graham has won it in overtime, and the Prowlers exercise their demons in Danbury. Graham tried to make a pass across. It bounced through the legs of Liam Murray, and the Prowlers have defeated the Danbury Hat Tricks in Danbury for the first time in 12 games. And after 11 straight losses in this building, the curse has been broken. And it's Matt Graham who gets it done. And what a game it was, reminiscent of much of this season series. In 4 of these 5 games have been phenomenal hockey games, back and forth. The other one a 4-0 win for the Danbury Hat Tricks. In the first game of the season series, Josh LaBelle, you see there right in front of the bench, yelling down the Port Huron tunnel. The first game of this season series, a 4-0 win for the Hat Tricks. Game was a little bit closer than the score indicated, but then 3 of the next 4 went beyond regulation, and the other one, a 1-goal Hat Tricks win in regulation. That was last night, but the Prowlers, again after the dark history over the past few seasons here in Danbury, finally get a victory over the Hat Tricks at Danbury Ice Arena. One more opportunity to invite you to tune in on Friday, March 8th when the Prowlers host the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Puck drop is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. Pre-game show starts at 6:50 right here on the PHP Network. So they give Austin Federley and Evan Foley the assists on the goal by Matt Graham. Graham gets his second tally of the weekend. He finishes with a goal and an assist, as does Evan Foley. And a great game for the Prowlers and a much-needed victory as Port Huron snaps a 4-game losing skid. Picks up 2 points tonight to move the magic number to clinch a playoff spot down to 19 points, and they'll have a great opportunity to make that number into single digits when they face the Blue Ridge Bobcats this upcoming weekend at McMorran Place. Be sure to come out to Friday's game and, of course, Saturday's taking a shot at breast cancer night game. But once again, your final score tonight, Prowlers 3, Hat Tricks 2, as they announce the 3 stars of the game, so we will pause for that.
Number 30, with 38 saves, Leah Murray. Tonight's second star from the Prowlers with 36 saves, number 41, Ian Wallace. And tonight's first star from the Prowlers with 1 goal, 1 assist, number 51, Matt Graham.
So Liam Murray gets the third star honors, Ian Wallace the second star, and Matt Graham your first star tonight here in Danbury's. The Prowlers defeat the Hat Tricks tonight and earn 3 points on the weekend, 1 on Friday and 2 here today. And they'll head home to get set for another 3-game weekend against the Blue Ridge Bobcats and the Watertown Wolves. We'll see you there. But for now, I'm Will Wiggleman. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time on the PHP Network.